Our next speaker discovered adventure through long-distance running, starting with road marathons, which eventually morphed into a hobby of trail running ultra-marathons. If you see Alicia out on the trail today, you'll notice a striking resemblance to the fiery, red-headed, brave character Merida, perhaps adorned in socks that say beer, or donning some sort of ridiculous swag, a set of shiny golden shorts maybe, a grass skirt and ukulele. It all depends on the occasion. She's here to tell us about why she sometimes dresses like a maniac and to share her approach to endurance adventure, one that centers around fun, friends, and beautiful views as a way to really win. Please join me in welcoming Alicia Woodside.
All right. So I don't know if anyone here tonight has ever thought about the insulation properties or the wicking of a tutu before. I didn't think I would be thinking about that stuff either until more recently. As a child, I had other things to think about. I had some pretty important role models in my life, people like Elvis Stoico and the high school wall of fame. So I was pretty set on this idea of, I had these role models that had these huge accomplishments, and I thought that to be successful in life, all I really had to do was start winning at things and be really good at something. And that all goes well until you start figure skating and it's all going well, you're having fun, and certain things like you won't go to the podium unless you're first or second, or you kind of hope that the other girl didn't land her jump. And you're having fun, but there comes to a point where I started to kind of link love of a sport with being good at it, and the effect of that is eventually you quit sports. So you hang up your skates, and that's the end of that, because you can't always be the best at everything. And so there I was, and thankfully I started running at some point, kind of during university. I wanted to get fit, and the reading notes on the treadmill thing wasn't really working out for me. So I joined a running club, and thankfully I made some really good friends through that, people that sort of dragged me out onto the trails, and I don't think I really had an appreciation for them yet, but I signed up for my first trail race, and I don't know if you guys know it, it's called the Iron Knee, and it's from Grouse to Deep Cove, and I remember finishing that and thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna stick to road running, what is this? I didn't really know how to run other than flat, and there weren't many flat parts of that run. So I was like, where's the pavement? And it didn't really come. So I thought, okay, no more of that, no mountains, just stick to my road marathons. And then, thankfully I had these really persistent friends that kind of just kept bringing me along, even though I couldn't really keep up. I never really had energy bars or those things. Sometimes I did, but friends had extra hydration packs and all that stuff. And so I really lucked out. I remember this one hike, and it's on this slide here. I showed up to this thing, I don't know if you see bell-bottom pants there, and I'm wearing a tank top. I didn't know what a hike was. I kind of thought, oh yeah, like the BCMC, okay, I show up. Tara here in the audience, both of us, no food, no water. And so thankfully, Alex here, she had extra of everything. She's also in the audience. So that day, things really changed. First of all, I learned what merino wool was, which is helpful to my job today, working in fabric. Second of all, I sort of started to see things in a new way, like having a day like that, actually getting into the alpine. Looking back, I think, how did I go my whole life without having, that kind of insight? But for whatever reason, it struck me, later along. But things changed, and it was no longer about being good at things. Like, we had this epic day. After that, we were, just laughing about that. And I'll remember that for the rest of my life, how naive we were, but also the amazing views we had and the codependency that we shared that day. So since then, things have really changed for me. And I guess that photo that you saw where I didn't know what, to bring food on a hike, basically, that was only like 2.5 years ago or so. And things have really developed, and with that, I've really changed to appreciate being out in the wilderness. And I guess we started thinking, like friends and I, that maybe there is a bit too much focus on these ideas of like winning and being really good, and we see a lot of that, and I think that's great too. And I think that there's also room for other goals and ideas of what success looks like. And so we got this idea, and we thought, well, it works in bachelorette parties to dress up funny, so maybe we could just do that ourselves too. And so we went shopping. This is American Apparel. They have some great stuff, as well as thrift stores, which is where I got this tonight, by the way. So we went there. We went down to do a 50K in Portland, which is where we prototyped this idea. And lo and behold, people love it. It's great. You know, like, not many people do this, like, have fun with things. And for us, it's really important in these organized events where it is a race. Like, you signed up to, you know, they're ranking you. And so for us, it's really important to have something there that kind of like this photo. Like, if I'm ever thinking, oh, am I in 5th or 6th? I just look down and I'm like, oh, okay, right. And it helps me laugh at myself when I'm wearing something ridiculous like that, especially if it's colored gold, because it's like, well, we're not running to win, but we're wearing gold. Somehow it works for us. But so these gold shorts and whatever, tutus, Tara's not really representing very well there. She was my pacer. But they've been everywhere with us. We've been able to do things that otherwise I wouldn't have really stretched myself, because I might have been thinking more like I wanted to do well at things. But it's kind of like invincible. Like Angel here, she just smashed 100 miles in this photo. And it's partly because of her attitude, which is represented in the, what is this, a onesie? That's a unitard. I don't really know the difference yet, but I'm going to learn that, along with all these other new sports and hiking. And yeah, like just things like we planned a little trip to Mongolia, running across the Gobi. And I think things like that, we might have not have ever gone that far out of our comfort zone if we were a bit too serious about it. And so other adventures in the gold shorts and things, you know, hula hooping. This is typically what an aid station looks like if you hang out with us a bit too much. So I think, yeah, I guess my message is it's been interesting to find that going outside of the typical, like, trying to be good at things has actually helped us land back at being good at things, but it was this journey of having fun and keeping that as the priority that helped us get there. And so I would like to tell that to my old figure skating self. Thank you.
I actually wish my daughters could hear that. I think that's very profound, actually, because there's one winner and everyone else does it.
They can watch the video.
And they can watch the video, exactly. That's what they'll do. Can you, I have a question here that you didn't actually touch on, but can you tell us a little bit more about, how you were inspired by the first FEAT event? I heard there was some inspiration.
Yeah, I wrote that a bit in my bio. I don't know if you guys kept it or if you cut it out. Right. The first FEAT event. Yeah, I guess there's so many different speakers, like, that you can see that there's adventure accepts everyone, really. And that's what I really like about it. And I guess that's what I was getting at in the talk a little bit. Like, winning, only one person can really win. But in adventure, like, I might be able to slog, I was going to say up, but actually down. I'm more of a downhill runner. I can, like, go down a hill, like, maybe faster than my neighbor, but someone beside me is way better at navigating, and they're, like, more critical, actually, to the adventure than my whatever downhill running skill. And similarly, like there could be someone else that has another great skill that the adventure really values. And so I think being at the FEAT events, I started to see how there's all these other opportunities, and to me that was really inspiring, because there really is a place for everyone. So yeah, you can come join us. We have extra clothing.
Thank you.